Hello friends, we have a lot to talk about because today, I've been so bad at this vlog, y'all, but I really want to talk to you about what I've been reading. Today is June 26th, so it's been a little over a week since I last sat down and talked to you about what I've read, and we have a ton to talk about from Manga Lovin Summer. I've been reading like a fiend, so let's go ahead and dive in and talk about what I've talked about. What I've read. Words are hard this morning. I'm very sorry in advance. So, first things first, I have read the next 5 in my Yona of the Dawn Yona along reading. So, this is volumes 21 through 25. These volumes are so good. It reminds me how much I love the series and why I love the series so much. And I'm very much looking forward to the next set. The members exclusive ones, I've got 10 volumes I need to talk to y'all about, so I'll be doing that here relatively soon, so look forward to that. I'm going to be putting these on the floor as we go, because this stack right here is what I've been reading, and that's not including the digitals. So, alright, in this next little group, I have The Masterful Cat is Depressed Again Today, Volume 6. I continue to really love this one. I'm really looking forward to the anime adaptation that we'll be getting in the next anime season. And it's going to be a good time. I'm very much looking forward to it. As always, I love these so much. Like, it's just slice of life shenanigans with a giant cat. And I love it. I just love it. And it gets really sweet and really precious at times that are super unexpected. And I just love it. I do. And I'm going to tell you how much I love it forever, because it's definitely in that one of my favorite cat series category for me, so love it. I'm going to try to briefly talk about Queen's Quality Volume 17. If you check out my Instagram post about this one, as I read it, I was supposed to be having a relaxing bath, and I literally fell apart in the bath. Like, Queen's Quality is one of my favorite series for a reason, and this volume is a peak example of that, because I was so emotional. I fell apart, I got put back together, and I cried very, very hard, and I love this series. It feels like we're kind of concluding an arc and entering the next one is kind of how it feels, and so I'm very interested to see where it's going to go from here. If you have not read Queen's Quality yet, you definitely should. One of my all-time favorite shoujos. I can't call it an actual favorite until it's finished, but I don't expect this to end in a way that I wouldn't like, so this cover hits so different now. I'm like tearing up a little bit just thinking about it. And if you don't know, like, this is just a pretty cover, but when you know, it's just like, rah! But anyways, I love this series so much. Like, please read Queen's Quality. Pretty please. Next, I have Futari Escape Volume 2. This is a really cute slice of life Yuri series about 2 adults who are living together, and it's just really sweet. They're mostly roommates right now, but like one has a crush on the other and they're not talking about it, and it's just really cute. I really love it. Can't wait to see where this one continues to go. I've had this one for a while, so I'm glad I finally got around to reading it. The next one is, the 2 of them are pretty much like this, Volume 3. Again, this is a slice of life Yuri title in which we're dealing with these 2 women. There is a bit of an age gap between them. I want to say it's 9 years, maybe 10 between them. But they add a lot to each other's lives, and they inspire each other in their careers, and it's just really sweet, and I love this cover a whole lot. But yes, really enjoyed this one. Next, Cherry Magic Volume 7, because I love them so very much. I will die on the hill that they live on, because it is so sweet and so cute, and we wake up after what happened in Volume 6, and things have changed in a really good way. And so we're kind of dealing with those changes. So yes, 10 out of 10 recommend this series. I believe it's still ongoing in Japan, and it's like 10 or 11 volumes. So even though these are slow to release, they're so good. So good. The next bunch I have here is me catching up on another series, and that is Fly Me to the Moon. So I have 13 through 17 here. And I hate that I sat on these volumes for so long, because I really enjoy what goes on in these volumes. There's so much. We get the big reveal we've been waiting for in these volumes, because this is basically the end of the first arc of the story, and then we're entering a new arc after volume 17. And I just adore this. This is so sweet and fun. If you like newlywed shenanigans, this is a perfect kind of series for you. Yes, they're young, but at the same time, they're not. So that's all I'm going to say here, and I really enjoy it, and I cannot wait for what's to come in the series from here, because we kind of have the end of an era for Tsukasa and the next era that she's entering, and I really love it so much. It's so sweet, and I can't wait to see where it goes from here. Alrighty, next bunch. So, Asumi-chan is interested in Lesbian Brothels Volume 2. I actually got flagged for posting this cover just because of its sexual nature and the title, but this continues to be a really sweet series, and I can't wait to see where this one continues to go, because I just adore it. It's a good time. There's a lot of sexual exploration in this particular volume, and I really loved seeing it. Then we have Go For It Again, Nakamura. And I really loved Go For It, Nakamura. I have that one digitally. I don't have it physically. But I ended up picking up a physical of Go For It Again. And this is really sweet and really cute. We pick up pretty much right where we left off. You know, Nakamura's still not really good at facing their feelings with their crush. But we see the crush kind of coming around a little bit more. And he may have more similar tendencies than Nakamura originally thinks. I would love to see a third volume in this kind of universe where they both kind of figure it out and end up together. But if I don't, that's fine. This is still really sweet and really fun. In my head, they're together, so there's that. Next, I have Crossplay Love Volume 4. I really enjoy the shenanigans as they continue in this series. And I know this is a long one, so it's definitely not going to be for everybody, because I think some people are going to feel like it gets pretty samey pretty quick. But I still really enjoy it. It's miscommunications and cross-dressing and shenanigans. And I just really love it. Like, when they're not cross-dressing, they're already warming up to each other a little bit better. And I really love it for that. So I can't wait to see where this one continues to go. Next, I have a couple of final volumes here. So we have the final volume of Run Away With Me, Girl. This series is about two adult women who dated in high school, and they cross paths again, and it's about their life together and choosing to be together despite societal norms and things. This is kind of a messier series. It's not the healthiest way they go about everything, so I'm going to caveat that. But overall, I think the series is very realistic and very good. And it's one of those things where I appreciate everything that happened. The art is unique and beautiful in its own way. And I just really enjoyed how this one ended up going. So with that said, we're moving on to the other one, which I'm very sad is the final volume. I can't lie. And that is volume 2 of I'm Kinda Chubby and I'm Your Hero. I really wanted at least one more volume with these gentlemen. They're really sweet. They inspire one another, and they're just the most precious. I love them. So he's an actor, and he's kind of this big, chubby guy, but he's very powerful and commands the room when he's acting. And this guy here works at a bakery and ends up starting to make him sweets to give to him after his performances and stuff. And it's about their burgeoning friendship growing into more. It's so cute. I just wanted them a little bit longer. I mean, I'm okay with where it ends, but I just wanted more. I'm selfish that way. I just wanted more. Next, I finally read volume 2 of Hi, I'm a Witch and My Crush Wants Me to Make a Love Potion. I really love the direction of this one and where we're headed in this volume, because our hero has kind of figured out he has feelings for our little witch, and she's trying to, like, pretend she doesn't notice, and it's super cute. I really love them. I really want to reread volume 1 and 2 back to back now, because it's been so long since I've read volume 1, but I pretty much remembered everything that was going on, and I really love them. I want to get volumes a little quicker, but I don't think I'm going to. Anyways, I love it. Next one, The Other World's Books Depend on the Bean Counter Volume 3. And I love this so much because we're definitely getting the building of the relationship between these two a little bit better. Politically, there's a lot going on, and they're trying to get rid of the spare, as you could say, in a way. But it's so, so good. I really love it. But I will forever die on the hill that is these two because I love them so very much. So if you have not tried The Other World's Books Depend on the Bean Counter, definitely give it a try. The releases are a bit spaced out because we're pretty much current with Japan. So be prepared for that, but it is so, 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 so good. All right, last stack of physicals, and then we'll get into the digitals. So, Kowloon Generic Romance Volume 3. I continue to love where the series is going. I continue to think, what the heck am I reading by the time I end volumes? And this was just amazing. I really, really loved it, and I cannot wait to keep going. This is a series that just keeps getting twisty and turny in just the right ways for me. It scratches that itch, and I'm really loving it. Next is another series that I caught up on, and that is Yakuza Lover. So I read volume 7, 8, and 9, 9 being the most recent volume, and I feel like we end an arc and start the next one, which is the final arc. We're only going to have 3 more volumes of this series, so I might just save them up and read them all together, or I might read them as they come out. I haven't quite decided yet, but I really appreciated where the story went, because we're actually getting a plot. It's not just them banging. Yes, there's a lot of banging, but we're more than banging is the plot now, and I'm really appreciating that. So, yes, when you're establishing the relationship, banging is the plot, essentially, but I feel like we're getting to the point where we have actual plot to wrap things up, and it's great. It's going to be really interesting to see how things shake out, and I can't wait to see what happens. And then the last set of physicals that I have, which is another series I caught up on, and that is Snow White with the Red Hair. So I read volume 24 and 25. I didn't have too much to catch up on with this one. I really love this series. I am missing the Zen and Shiryuki a little bit because they're just not spending as much time in close proximity for me, but they're both growing in such beautiful ways that I'm not like mad at it per se. But yes, I still love Zen and Shiryuki very, very much, and I'm very much looking forward to what's to come for them. All right, let's jump into my digital volumes. I'm just going to look at my photos to make sure I don't miss anything. Let's see. So, first things first, I finally got around to Changes of Heart Volume 1, which, oh my gosh, I love this series. Basically, these are childhood friends getting together as adults and going from just like being best friends to being more than best friends, and how it all goes about. Like, it's so good. It is very like spicy from the get-go, and I love this Josei series a whole stinking ton. Zero regrets, having a good time. The next one I read is volume 1 of Matcha Made in Heaven. This is another one that I've had on my Kindle for a while and was just kind of sitting on, and I'm so glad I read it. It's so fun. So essentially this woman is getting away from a toxic relationship. This guy thinks they're still engaged even though they've broken up. She ends up back on her family's matcha farm, and there's another guy basically running everything while her brother kind of does his own thing. And so this other gentleman is basically running it. He's very much the grumpy to her sunshine. And so she says to the crazy fiance that she's engaged to this guy, and he's like, no, 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 no. When she tries to say, oh, we're not, to people he knows, he's like, no, 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 you're playing this for me too. So they're basically in this fake engaged relationship, and I'm all about it because they're starting to actually get feelings for each other by the end of volume 1. So I'm like, yes, yes, please. Okay, next up, I have Mr. Bride volume 5. It's been a minute since I've read the series, but I was able to easily pick up where we left off, and we're finally getting to a point where she's starting to realize how important he is to her, and it's really, really sweet and really, really cute. I definitely recommend it. The next one I have here is Love After World Domination Volume 1. I really loved the anime, so I really wanted to read the manga. The manga is just as cute. I still smile and giggle through the whole thing. And the manga is complete at 6 volumes. So since reading, I have picked up the rest of the series, so I will probably be picking that up very, very soon. The next digital one I have here is Turns Out My Online Friend Is My Real Life Boss. This is a 1-volume BL story in which basically these two guys are chatting online in a game, and the boss doesn't realize it's his subordinate talking about him, but he does start to change how he treats his underlings, and things get better. But they're really cute and like each other in game, and then they have an in real life meetup, and then they figure it out, and they just go from being friends to more. It's really sweet. I really loved it. No complaints there. Next is another final volume that I got around to, and that is My Pink is Overflowing Volume 6. We're finally to the end of this series. I've been putting off reading the final volume for quite a while now, but I still really love how it ends. That's one that I want to reread straight through here pretty soon and just kind of revisit again just because it's a good time. The next one I have here is A Kiss with a Cat Volume 1. So essentially these are 2 high school students. She loves cats and all things furry, not really. She loves cats specifically. And one day this cat shows up at her house and she gives it a kiss on the face, and all of a sudden it turns into a naked boy who happens to be in her class. And there are some strings attached to the situation, and it's really interesting. The way that they play off each other is very cat-like, and it's very cute. I really enjoy it. And then this last one is Koi Gakubo-kun, Stole My First Time, I think is how you say his name. So essentially it's this 30-year-old woman. She's been kind of the mousy overachiever at work, and she ends up crossing paths with the beautiful sales guy from another company, essentially. And he's 7 years her junior, but he's like, have you never experienced love? And she's like, no. He's like, well, I can teach you about love. And he's completely mesmerized by her, even though he's never been mesmerized by a woman before. And their dynamic is really cute. I hope to pick up more volumes of this one soon so that I can keep going. But yeah, had a really good time with that one as well. So all the reading has been great so far, and I'm very, very excited to keep going. But it was just a lot that I hadn't talked to you about. This clip is like 20 minutes long already. And if I didn't have my mic on for all of that. Oh, I do. Good. I was afraid I didn't have that on for all of that, and I was going to have to say it all again. But anyways, that's where we're at currently. I am about to head into work. I tend to read digitally on work days, and then physically on days I'm home. So I'm working the next 2 days. I might get some physicals and some digitals in. But we've got 4 more days left of this little reading experiment because we're just reading through the end of the month. And yeah, so we'll see how much more I end up getting read. It'll probably just be another sit down clip like this. Hopefully not in the office, because I feel like all you guys see is my office lately. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at, and I'll see you guys in the next clip. Hopefully you'll get some B-roll too. Good morning, friends. So it is the next day, and I am a bad woman, because even though I worked a full 8 hours yesterday, I still read 16 volumes of digital manga. Well, I kind of woke up in the middle of the night, wasn't able to fall back asleep, so I started reading at that point. So that's a lot of it. But yeah, so let's talk about what I've read. Thankfully, it's me just catching up on a bunch of series, so it's multiple volumes of multiple series is what I ended up doing. So the first things that I ended up reading were the next 4 volumes, I believe. Yeah, the next 4 volumes. So volumes 2 through 5 of Matcha Made in Heaven, which I'm absolutely loving and adoring. I am all about this series. It starts out as this fake dating relationship, but of course they're catching feelings, and it's developing in a really sweet and organic way that is trying to make sure that they're not losing themselves within the relationship. They're still going for what they want, and it's amazing. I absolutely love and adore it. And I love the art. I can't get enough of these characters. And I don't always love little kids in manga, but Little Futaba-chan, which is our female heroine's brother's child. The mom is passed away, if I remember correctly. She's kind of latched onto Chako, our heroine, and Ishin, who is our male lead, and kind of treats them as a pseudo family unit because her dad's so focused on work and stuff. And I just really love how everything with them is working out. It's so sweet. And we're getting to kind of a big climactic thing going on here, so I'm very excited to see what's going to happen in upcoming volumes. As far as I know, I believe there's either 7 or 8 volumes in Japan, and it's still ongoing. So there are going to be long waits in between releases continually from here. But I can't wait. It's so good. It's so freaking good. I can't wait. I might have to see if the chapters are available on the crappy Kodansha app, and I might try that, but I don't know. I've been very anti the Kodansha app, as y'all know, because they had a perfect model of how this should work, and they're not using it. But anyhow, we're not gonna... It's neither here nor there at this point. So moving on to the next one. I only had 1 volume of this one to catch up on, so I decided to read that one next. And that is the 1 volume of Boss Wife. So this is another Yakuza romance where they had a previous meeting, they had dated previously, and then he wanted to protect her, so he rose up within his Yakuza ranks, and he came back, bought out all her dad's debt, and basically made her safe. And so now she's his wife, and things are developing very nicely for them. And I continue to really enjoy this one volume by volume as well. And yeah, having a really good time with that one. Next up, I read the next 5 volumes, which finishes off Love After World Domination. This is such a short series, and I'm so sad because they really could have kept going and had a lot of fun with it. But I'm honestly okay with where it ended. It ended up wrapping up okay. I did hear that the series got canceled in Japan, so they kind of had to wrap it up quickly. Thankfully, they had a really good kind of wrapping up point for it. And because of where it ends, we know there will be no season 2 of the anime, because there isn't enough for an entire season of content, unless they just added a bunch of filler for fans, which I wouldn't say I would be opposed to. Like, give me lots more dates between the 2 of them. I would definitely be okay with that. And yeah, so this series is really just a lot of fun. It's basically a Power Ranger and a villain falling in love. It's so cute. I believe I talked about it earlier in this vlog. But yes, I really love Desumi and Fuba, and they just have a really sweet relationship. And he is just like the total meathead, and I love him for it. He is just the idiot meathead, and he sees no other girl but Desumi, and even though girls are throwing themselves at him, he sees no one but Desumi, and it's adorable, and I love it. It's really just the sweetest thing, and I couldn't get enough of it. I definitely could have had more that I was reading of that one. I'm going to quickly pause because I feel like I've forgotten something, so I want to check real fast. Be back. Okay, so next up, I have the next 3 volumes of Mr. Bride. So they've gone from this weird, like, he's her housekeeper with feelings for her relationship to having an actual relationship. So I read volumes 6, 7, and 8, and I'm really loving the progression of the series. It's working really well for me. But then again, a lot of josei series, because we're dealing with adults in relationships, work really well for me for that reason, because I can relate to the things that are driving them apart a little bit better, because they are things that are legitimate concerns once you become an adult. Some of it is a little childish at times, yes, but like, you know, this is a workplace romance essentially, so you have someone else entering the workplace that your significant other ends up spending a lot of time with and smiling and laughing with, and you start to feel jealousy and things like that. Like, there's all of these legitimate things that they're feeling, and so I really appreciate how organic all of that is. It was really, really fun. I had a great time with it, and have zero regrets about reading this series and dropping a bunch of money on it, because I love it. I love it a ton. This just makes me realize I need to read my joseis more, but they're all digital, so they're all stuck in freaking digital jail. Help me get them out of digital jail, y'all. Anyway, so loving Mr. Bride so much, but I'm also not an overly domestic woman. Domesticity at home is not something I necessarily thrive on like some women do. And so I definitely relate to our heroine a lot in that way. My partner's always been great and very helpful around the house, and it's part of why we work together, because we both just do what needs doing. But yeah, it's definitely so good. I really love it. And, you know, he's like her junior at work, and so he still calls her senpai sometimes, and it's really cute. I don't know why I dig that. I do. I just do. Judge me for my taste all you want, but man, I like that trope. I like that dynamic. It's just a thing I dig, okay? Like, so sue me. Let's see. The last thing I have is 3 volumes of I Can Never Say His Name, Takes My First Time, I believe is the title. But I can never pronounce his name right. I can never spell it right. Like, anytime I tried to check, like, Baka updates to see how many more volumes I had and things, I could not type it. It would always autocorrect me to the right thing, but yeah. Anyways, so this one is very interesting because, again, it's another workplace relationship, but they don't technically work at the same place. They are 2 companies that partnered together, and it started out as this, like, taking love lessons situation, but he caught feelings, and he's never had feelings like this, so he's never really been in love before. And, you know, she obviously was, you know, the gaming otaku for a particular game called Animal Hunter that she actually saved him when he was younger, and so he, like, knew that it was her this whole time. But, like, yeah, it's just really sweet and really cute, and I really dig their relationship. And again, this is another one that has legitimate concerns because they are 6 years apart in age. And so he's 23, she's 29. His friends are all worried that she's going to be, like, dumping him and running to the altar to somebody else soon. And, like, you know, all he sees is her. So, of course, he's just not even been really thinking about that. He's just enjoying what he's feeling in the moment. And so one of their fights was she was afraid if she was, like, clingy and asking about those kinds of things that he wouldn't like her anymore. And, like, they had to work through that. And it ended up being really sweet. I really liked how they resolved things. And this was all because his friends around the same age that they all went to school together with had made some offhanded comments when she was, like, around the corner and didn't realize she was anywhere nearby, kind of a thing. So she overheard it and then walked into the room, and they figured out that she knew. And so that caused some tension in the relationship. So it's, like, real legitimate things that happen in relationships. And that's why I prefer to read a lot of josei romances. Even though I read a ton of shoujo too, my enjoyment level tends to be higher with my joseis because I can relate to the problems a little bit better. The jealousy trope is never a great one for me. I am a jealous person, but my partner is not, so that's not something I can easily relate to anymore, because you'd just be like, as long as you come home to me, like, if you were legitimately happier with someone else, I would let you go. Like, that's just the dynamic we have. And if he was happier with someone else, I would let him go. Like, that, we just respect and love each other that much that that's not a thing. So the jealousy thing is not something we really do. I had some jealous feelings towards one of his coworkers at one point, and we worked through that really easily. But yeah, like, it's just not something I easily relate to like I used to. And so I just really love the series that I've been picking up during Manga Lovin Summer, because I've been catching up on a bunch of things I've been meaning to catch up on for a long time. And so I'm very excited that I've been able to read these. I have some other digitals that I could start, but I think I'm just going to kind of, like, take it easy and not, like, pressure myself to read today. I was kind of in a bad headspace yesterday, honestly. I kind of had a grumpy day, and I needed to just kind of chill out. So I kind of just escaped into my reading, and then I woke up in the middle of the night, couldn't fall back asleep, so I read some more. So obviously I've more than accomplished the challenge of Manga Lovin Summer, because that was only to read 13 volumes in 13 days, and I've more than done that. I mean, I did that in 24 hours. So again, I'm not going to stress things. I have a couple ebooks I could pick up. that I was kind of in the middle of or wanting to start. So I might do one of those. Or I might just let my audiobooks be the only reading I do today, other than what I read, quote unquote, this morning. So there's that. I'm just running a quick errand before I go to work, because I work again today, and I then plan on just kind of chilling out. Might work on some content tonight, because I've got an exciting package coming, so I'm going to do a video about that. I've got 2 exciting packages to do videos about, actually, so you'll be getting those. I need to start planning out my reset and some things like that, so that's probably what I'm going to work on tonight. Do a little bit of reading tomorrow after I get some content done and up for you guys and things like that. So that's kind of where I'm at for today. Yeah, not a super exciting day. I mean, I hope to get some more content up to you guys in the next couple days, just because we're almost at the end of the month. So anyways, I don't know how much more manga reading I'm going to get done for Manga Lovin Summer. I've basically read 0 books, which is fine. I'm close to the end of my audiobook, so I'll have at least that. I had another audiobook I was listening to, but it got returned to the library before I could finish it, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. But yeah, anyways, once I finish my audiobook, I'll come back for sure. But I don't know how much more book reading we'll get done this month, just because I've been thriving in my manga element for a minute, so I'm just kind of riding the wave while I can. So anyhow, with that said, 16 volumes in 24 hours is crazy. Do not be me. Unless you want to be. But that is not normal. That is not healthy, especially when you work an 8-hour day in there as well. So anyways, I will chat with y'all later.